Have you ever thought about how AI could develop its own language?
Oh, yeah.
Not just follow our commands, but
Yeah.
actually create a way to communicate with other AI.
Yeah.
That's what we're diving into today.
Very cool.
It's called Emergent Communication, or EmCom. And it's seriously fascinating stuff.
Yeah, it's a really exciting area.
So we're looking at a research survey paper on emergent language and a paper detailing a novel approach to EmCom.
Okay.
And it's amazing how this all works.
Yeah.
Imagine two AI agents playing a game where they need to find a hidden object.
Right.
To succeed, they have to communicate, but they can't rely on any pre-programmed language.
Mm-hmm.
How do they even start?
Well, they start with simple signals, almost like random bits of information.
Okay.
But here's the key. As they play and receive feedback, whether they succeed or fail, they begin to refine those signals.
Interesting.
And over time, these random signals evolve into a shared vocabulary.
Wow.
And even a kind of grammar emerges.
So it's like witnessing the birth of a new language.
Yeah, in a way.
But is the goal to make AI communicate exactly like humans do?
Not necessarily. While it is fascinating to observe AI developing these complex communication systems,
Right.
the primary focus of EmCom is to enable AI to communicate effectively to accomplish specific tasks.
So it's more about efficiency and getting the job done
Exactly.
rather than trying to replicate all the nuances of human conversation.
Yeah, think of it this way. Human language is incredibly rich and multifaceted.
Right.
We use it to express emotions, tell stories, engage in really complex social interactions.
Yeah.
EmCom, at least in its current stage, is geared toward more task-oriented communication.
Okay.
It's about AI agents communicating effectively to achieve a goal, solve a problem, or complete a task.
Gotcha. So that distinction opens up some incredible possibilities.
Definitely.
If AI can develop a language tailored to specific tasks,
Right.
it could revolutionize how we interact with them.
For sure.
We could have AI systems explaining their decisions in a way that we understand,
Uh-huh.
or AI teams collaborating seamlessly with human teams.
Absolutely. And that brings us to, I think, a crucial concept in EmCom.
Okay.
Grounding. For AI language to be meaningful, it needs to be grounded in the AI's understanding of its environment.
So, for example, if an AI is playing a game where it needs to describe objects to another AI,
Right.
its words need to be connected to its understanding of what those objects actually are.
Yeah.
Its language has to have meaning in the context of its world.
Precisely. And the survey on emergent language paper highlights
Okay.
how the success of EmCom is heavily influenced by the specific environment the AI agents are in.
Makes sense.
Just like humans develop different dialects or languages based on their geographical and cultural context,
Fine.
AI agents develop communication systems tailored to their operational environment
Right.
and the tasks they need to perform.
Different environments, different AI languages.
Yeah,
It's all about adaptation.
it is.
Now let's talk about some of the cutting-edge approaches to EmCom. The EmCom.pdf paper introduces a novel concept called the ELBO maximizing objective function.
Right.
Can you break that down for us?
Sure.
It sounds pretty technical.
It is, but it's a fascinating development.
Okay.
Traditionally, EmCom research focused on maximizing the amount of information exchanged between AI agents.
Okay.
This new approach is different. The ELBO maximizing objective function focuses on achieving efficient and effective communication while ensuring the AI's language is grounded in its understanding of the environment.
So it's not just about transmitting a lot of data.
Right.
It's about making sure that data is meaningful and relevant to the task at hand.
Yeah.
Quality over quantity.
Exactly. Think of it like this. Imagine you're developing an AI system to assist doctors in diagnosing patients.
Okay.
Using this ELBO approach, you could train the AI to communicate with the doctor in a way that's both concise and informative.
Okay.
Instead of overwhelming the doctor with a mountain of data,
Right.
the AI could highlight the most likely diagnoses, explain its reasoning, and suggest further tests.
Interesting.
This kind of targeted communication could significantly improve the diagnostic process.
That's a fantastic example. It shows how this approach could have a real impact in the real world.
Yeah.
Now, let's zoom out a little bit, look at the broader landscape of EmCom research.
Okay.
The survey on emergent language paper describes two main approaches to language emergence,
Uh-huh.
evolutionary and acquisition.
Right.
What are the key differences?
In the evolutionary approach, AI agents start from scratch, much like the signaling game we discussed earlier.
Okay.
They develop their language through a process of trial and error,
Okay.
receiving feedback from their environment and adapting their communication accordingly.
So it's like AI is organically creating its own linguistic structures.
Precisely.
On the other hand, the acquisition approach involves training AI agents on existing human language data.
Right.
This method leverages the richness and complexity of human language,
Uh-huh.
giving the AI a head start in developing its communication abilities.
Yeah.
So in this case, the AI is learning from us picking up patterns and structures from our languages.
That's right.
But the paper also mentions that this approach might limit the AI's creativity in forming its own language.
Yeah.
Is that a concern?
It's an interesting point to consider.
Okay.
While the acquisition approach can be very effective,
Yeah.
there's a debate about whether it might constrain the AI's ability to explore truly novel linguistic structures.
Interesting.
It's a trade-off between leveraging the power of human language
Right.
and potentially limiting the AI's capacity for linguistic
And
innovation.
a delicate balance for sure.
It is. It makes you wonder how these emergent languages actually work.
Yeah.
We talked about AI needing to understand its environment for its language to be meaningful.
Right.
What role does that understanding play in how AI learns to communicate?
Well, I imagine those internal representations that AI agents create of their environment are key to how AI learns to communicate.
Yeah, you're right on track there.
It's not just about having words and grammar. It's about the AI understanding the meaning behind those words and how they relate to the world around them.
Exactly. It's not just about the symbols. It's about what those symbols represent in the AI's understanding of the world.
So, like, if an AI is trying to describe a tree to another AI,
Yeah.
it needs to have an internal representation of what a tree is.
Right. Shape, size, color, maybe even its function in an ecosystem.
Yeah, all of that.
And that brings us back to the concept of grounding. The EmCom.pdf paper really emphasizes how important it is for the AI's language to be connected to its understanding of the world.
Makes sense.
Without grounding AI, communication would be like a bunch of symbols without any real meaning.
Right.
It wouldn't allow them to interact with their environment effectively.
And the paper gives a great example of this with the AI playing a referential game.
Right.
To succeed, the AI has to connect its words to the specific objects it's trying to describe. It can't just throw out random terms. It needs to use language that's grounded in its understanding of those objects.
Precisely. And this highlights another fascinating aspect of EmCom,
Okay.
the role of shared knowledge.
Shared knowledge.
For AI agents to communicate effectively, they need some level of shared understanding about the world.
Yeah, it's like if you and I were trying to have a conversation,
Right.
we need some common ground,
Yeah.
some shared references to ensure that we understand each other.
Exactly. Like if I started talking to you about a very specific type of plant,
Right.
and you had no idea what I was referring to,
Yeah, communication would break down pretty quickly.
for sure, we need that shared understanding to make the conversation meaningful.
Exactly. And that's where the concept of collective world models comes in.
Yes, this is a really exciting area of research.
Okay.
Where instead of each AI agent having its own isolated understanding of the world,
Right,
they
yeah.
pool their knowledge and experiences to create a shared model of their environment.
So they're collaborating to build a more complete and robust understanding of the world around them.
Precisely. And these collective world models can significantly enhance the effectiveness of EmCom.
Okay.
They provide a richer context for communication,
Right.
allowing AI agents to express more nuanced meanings and understand more complex concepts.
That sounds incredibly powerful.
It is.
But how do these collective world models actually work?
Well, one promising approach involves a method called decentralized Bayesian inference.
Okay.
This allows AI agents to share information and update their beliefs about the world in a distributed manner.
Gotcha. So it's like having a network of AI agents constantly learning and refining their understanding of the environment through communication and interaction.
Exactly. It's like a continuous feedback loop where communication drives learning and learning in turn shapes communication.
And this leads to language emergence.
Yes. As these AI agents interact, share information, and build their collective world model,
Right.
their language begins to evolve organically. New words, phrases, and even grammatical structures emerge,
So cool.
driven by the need to communicate more effectively within their shared understanding of the world.
It's almost like witnessing the birth of a new language in real time.
In a way, it is.
Now, while all this sounds incredibly promising,
Yeah.
the survey on emergent language paper also points out some of the challenges facing EmCom research.
Right.
What are some of the key hurdles that researchers are grappling with?
I think one of the biggest challenges is how to measure the effectiveness of EmCom.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's one thing to observe AI agents communicating, but how do we know if they're truly communicating effectively?
Right. How do we define success?
Exactly. What are the benchmarks for success in this field?
The paper emphasizes the need for robust metrics and standardized benchmarks
For sure.
for evaluating different EmCom approaches.
Absolutely.
We need to agree on common ways to measure progress in the field if we're going to compare different approaches and track how EmCom is evolving.
I agree. And another major challenge is figuring out how humans can interact with these emergent languages.
Right, because even if AI agents develop these incredibly efficient communication systems,
Yeah.
they won't be of much use to us if we can't understand them.
It's like if I suddenly started speaking fluent Klingon.
Exactly. It might be a perfectly valid language,
Right.
but it wouldn't help me communicate with anyone who doesn't speak Klingon.
Exactly. We need to bridge the gap between human language and these emergent AI languages
Right.
if we want to truly harness the power of EmCom.
And on that note, I think it's important to highlight how large language models, or LLMs,
Yes.
are emerging as potential collective world models for AI agents.
They're very promising.
They offer an intriguing avenue for addressing some of the challenges we've been discussing.
For sure.
LLMs have been making headlines for their impressive language capabilities.
Yeah.
But how do they fit into the world of EmCom? What makes them suitable as collective world models?
Well, LLMs, with their ability to process vast amounts of text data and learn intricate patterns of human language,
Right.
can serve as a foundation for shared understanding among AI agents.
Yeah.
Think of it this way. An LLM can be trained on a massive data set of text and code,
Okay.
encompassing information about the world, various domains of knowledge,
Right.
and even different communication styles.
So the LLM acts as a sort of central repository of knowledge,
Yeah.
a common ground that AI agents can tap into.
Exactly. By grounding their communication in the knowledge embedded within an LLM,
Mm-hmm.
AI agents can establish a shared understanding of concepts, relationships, and even reasoning processes.
Makes sense.
This shared understanding, facilitated by the LLM, allows for more nuanced and effective communication.
That's incredibly insightful. It sounds like LLMs could play a crucial role in advancing EmCom research.
I think so.
But I'm curious, how does decentralized Bayesian inference, which we discussed earlier, fit into this picture?
Good question.
How does it work in conjunction with LLMs to drive language emergence?
Decentralized Bayesian inference complements LLMs beautifully in the context of EmCom.
Okay.
Remember, decentralized Bayesian inference allows AI agents to share information
Yes.
and update their beliefs about the world in a distributed manner.
Right.
Now imagine each AI agent having access to an LLM
Okay.
and using it as a foundation for their communication.
Gotcha.
As they interact and exchange information, they can leverage the LLM to refine their understanding of the task,
Okay.
the environment, and each other's intentions.
It was like each AI agent is using the LLM as a starting point,
Uh-huh.
but then they're constantly updating and refining their understanding through their interactions with other agents.
Precisely. And this constant back and forth, this
Right.
collaborative learning and adaptation is what drives language emergence.
So cool.
As AI agents share information, resolve ambiguities, and negotiate meaning,
Yeah.
their communication becomes more precise, efficient, and tailored to the specific task at hand.
Okay.
New expressions, shorthand terms, or even entirely new concepts might emerge as they strive for more effective communication within their shared context provided by the LLM.
This is all incredibly fascinating. It sounds like EmCom is on the verge of some truly groundbreaking advancements.
I think so too.
But I'm also wondering, with such rapid progress, what are some of the potential implications of EmCom?
Yeah.
What kind of impact could it have on our world?
Well, that's where things get really interesting.
Right.
The potential applications of EmCom are vast and, frankly, still unfolding.
Right.
We're talking about the potential to revolutionize how we interact with AI,
Mm-hmm.
how AI systems collaborate with each other, and even how we as humans collaborate with AI.
That's a lot to unpack, but before we dive into those potential applications,
Yeah.
I think it's important to acknowledge that, like any powerful technology,
Right.
EmCom also raises some important considerations that we need to address as this field continues to evolve.
Definitely.
We need to be mindful of the potential impact of AI developing its own languages,
Yeah.
and ensure that it aligns with our values and goals for a just and equitable society.
For sure.
We need to be thinking about these things now as the technology is developing so that we can guide its progress in a responsible and beneficial direction.
I completely agree.
You're absolutely right. It's crucial to be proactive and think critically about the implications of EmCom as it advances. It's not just about the technological capabilities, it's about understanding the broader societal impact and ensuring responsible development and deployment.
Exactly. We need to be asking ourselves important questions. How do we ensure transparency and accountability in AI systems that communicate in their own languages? How do we prevent bias from creeping into these communication systems? These are critical considerations, and they require a multidisciplinary approach with experts from various fields working together to shape the future of EmCom.
A fascinating and complex landscape full of possibilities and challenges. But let's shift gears for a moment and talk about some of the potential applications of EmCom. What are some areas where you see this technology having a significant impact?
One area that immediately comes to mind is human AI collaboration. As AI systems become more sophisticated, their ability to communicate effectively with humans will be crucial for seamless teamwork. Imagine a world where AI can understand your needs, explain its reasoning, and work alongside you to solve complex problems, all through a language that's both efficient and intuitive.
It's like having a truly intelligent partner, one that can understand your intent and collaborate at a deeper level.
Precisely. EmCom could also revolutionize the way we interact with technology in general. Imagine a world where you can communicate with your devices in a more natural and intuitive way, where AI assistants can understand your needs and preferences and adapt their communication accordingly.
It would be like having a conversation with your technology rather than just giving it commands.
Exactly. And beyond those applications, EmCom could also play a significant role in scientific discovery. Imagine AI systems collaborating with scientists to analyze vast data sets, identify patterns, and develop new hypotheses, all through a shared language that facilitates efficient knowledge transfer and accelerates the pace of research.
It's like giving scientists a powerful new tool for exploring the unknown.
Precisely. And let's not forget the potential impact on fields like education and entertainment. Imagine AI tutors that can personalize their teaching methods to individual learning styles, or AI storytellers that can create immersive and engaging narratives tailored to your interests.
The possibilities are truly mind-boggling. It sounds like EmCom could touch almost every aspect of our lives.
I believe so. It's a transformative technology with the potential to reshape how we interact with the world, with each other, and with AI itself.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into the fascinating world of EmCom, what are some key takeaways for our listeners? What should they keep in mind as they continue to explore this evolving landscape?
I think the most important takeaway is that EmCom is not just about getting AI to speak like us. It's about enabling AI to communicate effectively for specific tasks, whether it's collaborating with humans, solving complex problems, or interacting with the world in new and innovative ways.
It's about breaking down communication barriers and opening up a whole new realm of possibilities.
Exactly. And as we move forward, I think it's crucial to approach EmCom with a sense of both excitement and responsibility. We need to foster innovation while also being mindful of the potential implications of AI developing its own languages. We need to ensure that these emergent communication systems align with our values and contribute to a better future for all.
That's a powerful message to end on. So to our listeners, we hope you found this journey through the world of EmCom as fascinating and thought-provoking as we did. Until next time, keep those brains buzzing.